everyone, welcome back. I have another skincare reaction for you, and today we're taking a look at Kesha's LED light skincare routine. I'm gonna admit, of course I listen to Kesha's music, but I don't know much about her. The only thing I do know is all of the court trials that she was going through and everything with her producer a while back. I know that she had some kind of a gag order, so if anything, like the last time I heard about Kesha, I had a lot of sympathy for her, and I'm really glad to see that she is coming back out into the wild. She's gonna show us her skincare routine, and maybe we're gonna get some kind of an update from her on what she's doing. Maybe there's more music coming, anything like that. So let's go ahead and take a look.
Hey Harper's Bazaar, it's Kesha. You wanna go to bed with me?
I also want to note, I don't know when this happened, but Kesha took the $sign out of her name, which I thought was kind of cute.
So I'm in New York City for New York Fashion Week, and I'm about to go on tour. So I'm very used to living out of a suitcase. So I just bring the essentials, which is very hard for me. My skin type has always been really dry. 2 months ago, I started getting pimples, so that's really awesome. So I've completely had to readjust my routine, and it's really annoying when you're just hyper-focused on your one flaw, and then you get to shift to the next one. It's awesome to be 36 with pimples.
Okay, wait, being 36 with pimples is not abnormal. It's actually very normal. And in fact, I'm pretty sure my first true breakouts happened when I was just about 30 years old. Really, at the end of the day, adult acne it tends to be hormonal, right? And so you're going through all these different hormonal shifts. If anything, I like to think of it as my body telling me that there is a change happening and I should be more aware of it. That's at least how I start to think about it. And it doesn't even matter if it's just acne. You know, for me, it was melasma, right? Just knowing that my hormones are shifting so much and it's making my skin have, a change to it as well, and learning how to cope with that. But I just want to put out there, adult acne is very, very normal. It's very common. And unfortunately, it does cause us to have to relook at our skincare routines. But I urge you to also go see a dermatologist, maybe even talk to, if you're a woman, your gynecologist, your doctor, whoever it is, to just kind of maybe get an idea of what might be happening in your body as a whole. Because when we talk about beauty being inside out, really it's just a reflection of what is happening inside, how our health is manifesting, right? So kind of keep that in mind. It's a way of your body telling you that maybe something's changing.
So let's get into my routine. First up, I have this cleansing balm that really helps the lashes come off and all the makeup. To be honest with you, I don't know where this came from, but it's great. It's crystal hearts. I have no idea, but someone sent it to me and it's phenomenal. So now I lube up the eyeballs. As much as I love makeup, it's one of the funnest parts of my job. I can't wait to get it off my face at the end of the night, my God. So then I wash this off and then we'll wash again.
Do we need to do another tutorial, guys? Cleansing balm, the benefit of it is that you scoop it up, you warm it up. Warm up your cleansing balm. You cannot warm it up enough. It's supposed to turn into an oil. You do not have to take a washcloth and apply it directly to your eyes. In fact, I would argue that you're probably not going to get the most benefit from it without warming it up and turning it into more of an oily texture. So just make sure to do that. I'm glad to see that she's using a cleansing balm because it definitely is still more gentle, even the way that she did it, at breaking everything down and coming off. I was hoping we were gonna see her go in and do the whole thing. Cleansing balm, melt it down, put it all over her face, do that first cleanse, and then hopefully go into the second cleanse. But let's see what happens. But you do not have to use a washcloth like that. It is kind of defeating the purpose. A cleansing balm is meant to be essentially an oil cleanser.
Okay, we have naked eyeballs. I feel like I look like a baby hamster with no eye makeup. Now I have naked eyes, but I need to wash all over, get all the makeup off. And I've been working with a facialist and a dermatologist just because I've had a lot of problems in my life, honey, but pimples were never one of them.
I mean, I feel that. I really do feel that. I remember when I was breaking out, and I'm sure so many people can feel that. It's like you have all these different problems and then you come up with something that's like pimples that you've never had to deal with in your life. And you're like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do about this. I feel it.
So they're like my new friends. So they've told me to try different cleansers. This one, Dr. Dennis Gross, my new cleanser, Meltaway cleanser. I like to have my face kind of damp when I wash, and I just like to be really lubed up, and then I roast under an LED light. But but I just put it on dry. I think we're covered. We'll rinse this off. When I've done like a lot of makeup, I sometimes will wash a third time.
It's always interesting to me when I see somebody, especially someone like Kesha, right, who has access to some really great dermatologists, I'm sure would want to work with her. Some great estheticians would want to work with her. And they tell her, because she's breaking out, I mean, and this is what I'm gathering from what she just said, that they told her to use different cleansers. It always kind of blows my mind. This is where sometimes I'm like, what are they telling people to do? Try new cleansers? Like, what is it? Like, why? Why the cleansers? If anything, they should be telling her how to properly cleanse her skin in a gentle way. And I'll tell you that, you know, if there's something that they're seeing that's like not hormonal, maybe it is that they're associating it with the way she cleanses her face. Maybe she's using a product or something that's causing her to have these clogged pores or a reaction or something. Telling a person to properly cleanse their skin where they take everything off and they gently remove it without stripping their skin is one of the keys to having healthy skin. Whenever I'm talking to somebody who's really new to skincare or they don't watch online videos, they have no idea who I am. They don't know anything about what we've been, you know, discussing for years now online. They go and they will use a cleanser, even if they've been introduced to a cleansing balm, they don't use it the way that they're gonna get the most benefit, right? And so really you're gonna get the most benefit from gently cleansing your skin and removing all of that using the water and your fingers and being gentle and not rubbing everything off. So if you're gonna go in with the cleansing balm, use it all over your face. You saw all that makeup that came off on that washcloth. That means her skin was not clean. She said she'll sometimes go in with a third cleanse. She can avoid that third cleanse by using the cleansing balm in a proper way, putting it all over her face, melt it down, emulsifying it with some water, rubbing it a little bit more, rinsing it off. Then while her skin is still wet, not drying it off and rubbing it with a washcloth like she did, while her skin is still wet, goes in with that cleanser that she just used, the Dr. Dennis Gross one, work it into a lather, make sure you're massaging it onto your face and then properly rinsing it off and then just gently patting your skin dry. You would not see any more makeup on your face. Sometimes on your hairline, I admit even sometimes I don't get all the way up into my hairline enough, fine. But when it comes to your general face area, that is not cleansing your face. She did not wash all that makeup off when it came off on that washcloth. It was not clean. And on top of it, she was really, really rough with her skin. I was looking at the ingredients of that Dr. Dennis Gross cleanser that she used. It seems like it might be a very emollient cleanser, which is totally fine. That means that she's probably been told to use gentle cleansers, but she hasn't been shown how to use them correctly. Right? Like she put that on, she didn't really lather it up or anything. I'm gonna think that maybe she could benefit from using more of like a gel-based cleanser. And honestly, I'm a little bit even surprised to see that maybe a dermatologist didn't tell her to use like a benzoyl peroxide cleanser or salicylic acid cleanser. She did say her skin is dry or it tends to be dry. So maybe she's been told, use like really emollient cleansers and don't strip your skin. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't use a cleanser that's going to completely cleanse your skin.
So after I clean my face, I usually do a mask of some sort. So this mask I love. I also sometimes do a sheet mask. That's really my like me time is doing the sheet mask. But for tonight, I'm feeling kind of lazy. So I'll go straight into a toner.
Okay, so this is what I was thinking about. I was wondering if this is how it goes. So when you're using that Augustinus Bader cream mask, the Bio-Cellulose mask, the sheet mask that she wants to put on, if she still has all that makeup on, right? Combined with these like emollient cleansers, right? She used an oil here. She had like this very emollient, meaning like a moisturizer, like a cream kind of cleanser that just basically turned into a whole other layer on her skin. And then compacted with her makeup, her old makeup that she's like rubbed around with grime from the day and everything. And then she goes and puts something really thick on her face. What do you think happens to your skin? I hear people tell me all the time, oh, I don't like this kind of ingredient. I don't use this makeup because it clogs my pores. This is the combination that clogs your pores right here. It is not the ingredients, very specific ingredients. I see people talk about this all the time. Oh, these very specific ingredients clog my pores. No. It is something like this. You have makeup still on your skin. You used a cleanser that was too oily for your skin, too emollient. It's also on there. We saw the proof with that washcloth. And then you go and put something else that's really thick and occlusive on top of that. What do you think clogs your pores? It's that combination. And so we're watching that kind of happen.
I love this toner. It's like beauty secret hack. This toner rules. Everybody, you know. And if you don't, you gotta try it. It's like next level. It smells horrible, but that's when you know it's working. Like, you know it's good when it kind of smells like cat pee and gasoline. Love it. And I'll use it on a pad, ideally, but I resort to toilet paper in certain hotel rooms. I'm not above saying that. And it kind of tingles a little bit. Oh, it's so good. So I started getting into skincare when I was younger.
They didn't show us the cotton. Oh, I wish we would have seen it, because I'm willing to bet we would have seen more makeup transfer onto that piece of cotton. P50, wow. I mean, the comeback that toner has had in the past year, it's unbelievable. I even have a bottle of it because it's just had this comeback. But what I'm also seeing is a comeback of stripping the shit out of your skin and not being gentle with your skin. And we all know where this leads. It leads to irritated skin that becomes skin that breaks out, and it's not necessarily cystic pimples that are due to hormones or anything. It is your skin just freaking the fuck out, right? Like, we need to always be aware of that. Is this a toner that you can use? Absolutely. I like having this in my skincare routine. You can absolutely do it. But after you've been rough with your skin, you haven't cleansed it properly, you're saying that your skin is dry, you might want to be careful when you're using an exfoliant like this, because it is strong. They didn't specify in this video which of the P50 toners she used. There's the original, the 1970, that has ingredients like phenol in it, and it's really strong. Effective, but very strong. Could also be very drying, very irritating for your skin as well. Or, she could be using the one that's more gentle. We have no idea. So that's also something to keep in mind. But I'm seeing this resurgence. The Dr. Dennis Gross pill pads, all of them are great products, but you still have to be careful when using them. And then you also have to properly use your sunscreen in the morning and do all of that. So if you're feeling like your skin is irritated and you're getting all these breakouts and everything, this is not uncommon to see.
Because I had freckles, and a lot of people would cover them up in post, like Photoshop them out and blur them. So I started feeling really insecure that I had not only some freckles, but like a ton of freckles. Then I decided to lean into it and kind of make it my thing. And now I love my freckles. Like, I think they're so cute. And I have friends that get them tattooed on now. So everybody else wants to like erase and delete.
There's a trend of people getting their freckles tattooed on. Please stop. Don't do that. It's so easy to just draw them on if you want them. There are actual freckle pens all over TikTok. Please don't tattoo freckles onto your face, please. I do think they're absolutely adorable, especially when you lean into it and you love the look of it, because at the end of the day, we need to love how we look, not what everybody else thinks. I am looking at her face as she continues to use this cotton pad on her face, and you can just see that redness right here on her cheeks. And I just want to be like, oh, let me give you some barrier support cream and some ceramides.
I'm making this pretty as possible. And then I started touring. Every night it would be like full drag makeup, like so intense. Face tapes, wigs, you name it. And then I would pour glitter on top of my face with beer, because that was a good idea. I don't know. Don't do that.
Wait, what? She would put glitter on her face and then beer? So confused by that statement. I'm going to just move on.
I got a very bad skin rash from doing that.
Yeah.
That was a terrible idea. But I then found adhesives.
Beer. Okay, somebody in the drag community, tell me, is that a trick that we don't know about? Beer as a setting spray? This is what I'm getting from it.
I think that part of my new routine of letting my freckles and my face shine and not covering up with so much makeup has been an acceptance of self and what I look like, and feels more raw and vulnerable now.
I feel a lot for Kesha. If you don't know a lot of what she's gone through in the past with her career and everything and her producer, you should definitely go look it up. It's a reminder that entertainment is a terrible industry and there are terrible people in this industry. So definitely look it up, because I think you should know, because her producer's still out there making lots of money.
Okay, the next step in no particular order, I just always need to moisturize my lips after I've been putting a bunch of matte lipstick on all day. So this is Indie Wild, a dewy lip treatment. Let's dewy up our lips. Like flying and living on a bus is so dehydrating. The fashion week moment today was like matte lip, but that could be very drying. Then at the end of the night, I just drench. I give my skin back all the goodness.
Okay, so if she does have dry skin and she's talking about dehydration and everything, this little pause between, skincare, and again, she's on camera, she's doing her routine for us. This might not be the way she kind of does this at night in reality, but you want to make sure that you're packing on hydration. Put that toner on, put on a hydrating serum. Do your next step. Don't let your skin dry down.
So next I do one of two things. It's a mashup, right? We never know. This is Oak Essentials. Just feels really good. Look at the color. It's so blue. I'm a sucker for it. So, that smells so good. But then here's the wild card.
Okay, so an oil, totally fine. This is a blue tansy oil. This line is actually from Jenny Kane. It's a fashion line. They have a home care line, all of that stuff. They've now moved into skincare with Oak Essentials. It has kind of like this natural vibe to it and everything. So of course, like a blue tansy oil would be a product that they would have. Totally fine for your skin. It's very soothing. It's great for people who also have irritated, maybe even acne prone skin. I remember Herbivore. They had their blue tansy oil that was really popular for a long time. And I know a lot of people who had breakouts and stuff, they were really into that kind of a product. Again, though, she complains about being dehydrated and dry and everything. You want to use hydrating ingredients, and oil is not hydrating. It is not hydrating, at least not in the way that you think. It's not hydrating in like a glass of water that you drink. It's more occlusive, and occlusive is really a strong word for it. It's emollient. It's really going to sit on the top surface of your skin and not give you that hydration, that plumpness that you want. So you want to make sure you're hydrated before you go in with an oil.
This is fun. Like if I do a lip treatment, then I'll just like put her on while I like bullshit around, because it also looks cool. Like I kind of love it, right? Hot. So this is an LED mask. Again, Dr. Dennis Gross. Love him. Rules. And the LED is supposed to help create collagen production. So I have one like this, I have a full face one, and then I have a body one. It's called a Celluma light, and I travel with it everywhere. People ask me if it works. I don't know. But just in case it does, I use the shit out of it.
You know what? Fair. I think a lot of people are uncertain if their LEDs are doing anything for them. For me, I think that the most important things to look at are the wavelengths of the light that you're using. I like a red light. I feel like green light therapy is going to become a bigger thing soon. I don't deal with any acne, which she does deal with acne, but she's also got dry skin. So blue light wouldn't really be that great for her. And she says, by the way, that she's got acne, but I don't see anything, by the way. She was making it seem like she's got like major pimples going on. And I was fully expecting to see that when she removed her makeup, but I think her skin looks really great. But red LED light therapy is great for your skin. I'm a huge fan of it. When it comes to LED masks, there are so many different ones on the market these days. I feel like people are super confused about what they should be using. Back when these LED masks started, I was very anti. I poo-pooed it because I was like, there's no way they're going to be able to get the right measurements of the LED, the irradiance, the infrared. They're not going to be able to get the professional amounts that you need to actually get the results that you're looking for, which is, like she said, collagen production. It helps to, calm inflammation, that redness in your skin. There are just so many different benefits that you get from red light therapy. But it turns out these at-home masks now have come a long way. And the Dr. Dennis Gross masks, I have not used them, but they fit these measurements that you should be looking for when it comes to LED therapy. I'm going to put that on the screen, what you should be looking for. They have a document on their website that says that their LED masks fit these measurements. I think one of the big things that you should be considering when you are buying any of these LED masks on the market is, one, do they share their measurements, how these products work? Because that's a big telltale sign. If they're not sharing any of that information, then they might not be meeting up to the standard that you want to actually get results, right? Two, how comfortable are they on your face? Because the closer to your face, the more snug the fit, the better results you're going to get. Because one of the big things with light therapy, LED therapy, is that you want it to be able to penetrate your skin. So the closer you are to the skin, the better results you're going to get. So when it's nice and snug and close to your face, you're going to get better results. This looks like it fits really nice and snug to the face. It only covers the eye area. And I realize some people are really focused on their eye area and wanting to make sure that that's where, maybe they're seeing crepey skin around their eyes, looser skin, whatever it is that you're noticing. In my opinion, you're going to get better benefits from just using a full face face mask. She says that she has that too, so I'm assuming she chose to use this one for the video because it just kind of looks cool. But if you're going to invest in one of these LED devices at home, definitely do one that is going to be a mask. Don't do one of these handhelds. It's going to take you so much longer to get the benefits, and make sure it is covering your whole face, your whole neck. She says she's even got a panel for her body. I do too. I love it. Make sure you're covering as much as you can, because at the end of the day, as our skin ages, aging in general doesn't just happen to one area. You might notice it more. It might be more pronounced in an area like your eyes, but you want to take care of all of it. It's all going to have an effect. I would prefer that you go with the full face mask instead of the eyes.
Do my lip treatment, or just kind of hang, make some phone calls. So this I'll usually leave on for like 10 minutes, but because you're getting ready with me, I'll speed up the process. Now I just go hardcore moisturizer. So I have a couple different ones, and I mix in a little retinol. So this is the moisturizer I use, Augustinus Bader. I'm not stingy with it. I love this cream because it's rich, it's thick, it's super moisturizing, and my skin is historically just so dry, and from travel, like, it does dry you out. My facialist recommended this cream, and I just am addicted to it.
Okay, so the Augustinus Bader cream, I actually really love it. Is it overpriced? Absolutely, 100%. And whenever people are like, oh, but this TCPS, whatever it is, you know, trademark that they have, this patent that they have, it is very interesting to me. It's a delivery system, and they have it patented. And you can, as a consumer, go look up this patent, because when you trademark something, you have a patent. It is now public information. It is made to be confusing for you on purpose, because they never really exactly tell you how it works. Some backstory on this patent that they have for Augustinus Bader is that they actually created this. This was a doctor, Augustinus Bader, who did research and created this patent for medical use. And they basically translated it to an occlusive that can help ingredients penetrate your skin better. For them, it's like peptides, I want to say, that can also help with wound healing. And you'll see wound healing as, you know, a reason why ingredients are used in certain skincare products, because if it can help with wound healing, then there's a chance that it can help with aging too. There's no like real proof that wound healing translates to anti-aging, but you can kind of make a guess that you're going to see some kind of a good benefit with your skin if it can help aid in wound healing, right? But I'll tell you what, when you read this patent, it doesn't sound any different from what an ingredient like petrolatum can do. It doesn't sound any different from silicone, which happens to be one of my favorites. I love silicone patches, for instance. It has the same kind of benefit. Wound healing helps to be an occlusive that helps your ingredients underneath it penetrate your skin better. There are so many different benefits that sound very similar when you're using petrolatum or using silicone or any of these types of ingredients as this patent for Augustinus Bader. So are you spending a ton of money to use this very fancy moisturizer that potentially does the same thing as your Vaseline? Maybe, but we don't know. And that's the genius of marketing, right? So I think that's just something to keep in mind. They could have something really amazing happening in that Augustinus Bader, or it could be nothing that amazing, but the genius of patenting it and having this whole medical story behind it, you just never know.
So next I would mix in a little bit of retinol with another moisturizer. Rescue Retinol with Ultra Repair Cream right now because I'm super extra dry. I get like a big chunk of it. Here we go. Oh yes, that's what I want. And then I just like am lathered. Oh yeah. I just wanted to like sit. I wanted to soak. I never, ever, ever sleep in my makeup because it's a slippery slope. If I start sleeping in my makeup, I'll just be sleeping in my makeup all the time.
See, I actually agree with that. Routines are routines, right? Like people are always like, you always wash your makeup off at night. Yes, because that is my mindset now. It would feel weird to me to fall asleep with makeup on now. I am in such a routine and a habit that it would just feel weird. It'd be like not brushing my teeth at night. Like sometimes we'll hear people say, you know, in these videos, like, oh, sometimes I go to sleep sleep with my makeup on. I guarantee that person does it more often than not, because that means they do not have a set routine for their skincare, right? Like, can you imagine just being like, sometimes I just don't brush my teeth. I just don't. That person probably doesn't brush their teeth that often, because I can't imagine going to bed without brushing my teeth at night. I love hearing that. She's like admitting that, like it's a slippery slope. You go to bed one night with your makeup on and it happens the second night and you're like, oh, nothing happened to my skin. It will just continue the cycle. That amount of moisturizer she's putting on, and I saw what retinol she's gonna put on, which is a retinol that I love. She's really going for it with the moisturizer. I love to be thick with my moisturizer and double up on my moisturizer, but I go back now especially to that oil that she put on. If she just put like a hydrating spray toner on and then put that moisturizer on, that oil, all of that kind of stuff, she would have had such better hydrated skin. She would be getting so many more benefits from it if she's really this dehydrated. And by the way, you saw all that moisturizer she put on. You don't need that much. If it's not absorbing into your face, you don't need that thick of an amount, because we saw her like have to spread it all over the place, which is fine to put it all over the place. So just keep that in mind. I feel like sometimes we watch these kinds of videos, as a viewer, you're watching and you're going like, oh, am I doing something wrong because I'm not using that amount? That was excessive. I'm gonna hold what I'm gonna say about the retinol until after she applies it. So let's just continue watching.
I get so lazy, but skincare is the one thing. It's like, I don't even need to brush my teeth, but like.
You do need to brush your teeth though. I mean, if you've got nice skin, but you have terrible teeth that are falling out, what good is it?
You better believe I'm gonna wash out that makeup. Your gorgeous face, your money maker, wash her, bathe her, drench her in goodness. Woo! So I let this soak until it kind of, doesn't look totally insane. And then I'll add an eye cream. So right now I have my buddy, Dr. Dennis Gross. This one has a little retinol again. I swear by retinol, hyaluronic acid, and the LED. Those are my go-tos. And a sheet mask. I didn't want to make y'all suffer through a 10-minute sheet mask of just watching me do a sheet mask, but I try to do one every day. And now that I'm like super wet and moist and my skin feels so much happier, now I go bake under my Celluma light like this. And I'll turn on, to be honest with you, like trash TV. And if I had a calm day, I'll read a book. Makes no sense. So that's it.
But I'm so confused. I actually meant to say something about this. She had said bake under her red light earlier in the video. You're not baking under your red light. You shouldn't be baking necessarily. It probably seems to her that she's baking, but it shouldn't be so hot that it feels like it's baking. And if it's getting that hot, that warm, it could potentially be causing, like if you're like me and you have melasma, then it could be a problem. So you can choose different red light therapy that doesn't get so warm. And the irradiance is partially what you should be looking at. There's a sweet spot of the irradiance level that you want to look for when it comes to your LED mask. The lower end of it means it's going to be a little less warm, and the higher end of it means it's going to get warmer. So that's something to keep in mind. There are also different brands that have very specifically like infrared at like higher dose, for instance, not their face mask, but their infrared mats that they use in the blanket and stuff like that. That kind of warmth that you're getting from that red light therapy, it's not LED therapy, it's infrared, which you're also sometimes getting in your LED mask as well. I know it's very, very confusing. We'll do a whole video about it, but that is meant to be warm on your skin too. So those are things to keep in mind. If you have melasma, you're prone to hyperpigmentation or anything like that, you don't want to go super, super warm to the point where you feel like you're baking. But I can imagine that it seems like you're baking because it's red and it's a light, and it makes you feel a little bit warm because you're getting comfy and you're getting like this blood circulation. So I actually missed the part where she put the retinol cream into her moisturizer. I didn't realize that she mixed it. I know she said she was going to mix, but they didn't show her actually mixing it together, like the amount that she puts in. I will tell you, I love that Hero Cosmetics retinol. I have talked about it before on social media because it is so beautifully formulated. It is a rich emollient cream, and then it's also this encapsulated retinol complex that happens to be very gentle for the skin. So if you are new to retinol, then you can just use it on your own. You do not need to mix it. It's not a prescription strength retinol. It's not even like a 1% retinol where you could potentially have adverse reactions to it because you are new to retinol. retinol. This is a very gentle retinol. So do you need to mix that one? I wouldn't. You're gonna get so many more benefits from it if you were just putting it directly to your skin. It's super, super gentle, I promise. It's like gentle, to the point where you also probably might have put together that she used that P50 toner and then used a retinoid. I would say that that's probably okay in this routine if you're using that retinoid. She used the eye cream from Dr. Dennis Gross that has retinol in it too. That's a little bit strong, but if you're just keeping it to one area, it's a good way to get around having too much of an adverse effect. I like to power move. My skin can handle it, but I know my skin really well and I know the products that I'm using when I'm doing this, where I use an AHA exfoliant and a retinoid in the same routine, but I'm not pushing my skin too hard. You can do that. You just have to be aware that it could cause more irritation if you're not used to it. I think that she's got like a fairly good routine and she uses really good ingredients. The fact that she loves LED and she loves using a retinoid is a really big deal because we don't always see celebrities use a retinoid in their skincare routine. And I think it's because it scares people. That one from Hero, super gentle. Just put it directly to your skin and then put on a moisturizer on top of it. You do not need to mix that one and dilute it. In fact, you might not even get as many benefits from it if you do that. I actually loved watching Kesha do her skincare routine. I thought she had some really interesting things that she was saying, that she was doing, and I hope that she figures out what's been going on with her skin because I don't think it was ever really clear because I expected to see a lot of breakouts from what she was saying and I felt like her skin looked pretty clear. It just, if anything, looked a little irritated. If you have anything to add to this, you can leave it in the comments below. You can also find me on social media. I'm at Susan Yara and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.